Yes, Fitz Bacon. How's it going? All right, let's get you in. Just, where you gone? October, put the request in. How'd you do this? Why is it becoming hard to do this? Hold on. Yeah, how's it going?
All right. Sorry, I'm eating, but yeah. How are
Okay. Yeah, I'm all good, you know.
you? If this battery drops, I'll have to just jump on another phone to come back on. So I'm
Okay.
captain two phones. You're Mr. R&B, and I'm captain two phones. So yeah.
Just the two phones you got, yeah?
Listen, say less.
Okay. Well, Tony Banjo has three phones. My God, that you. So
I've seen people with more phones.
I just got one.
Press conferences, and I've seen people with a bag of phones, and I'm like, what's going on? But it is what it is.
Yeah. So, what would you like to talk about? Was any of the categories stood out to you? Any of the um
Well, my ignorance is on the American fighters. Because obviously the different time zones, I can't always get them if they're not on, say, Top Rank that broadcasts on Sky. So with some of the fights that you were talking about, I haven't even watched them yet. But it's like,
okay.
the British fighters, like the good up and coming British fighters. I don't know, what's your opinions on that, of the new crop of fighters that we've had coming in?
Yeah, funny enough, saying that, Adam Azim was the one who won the
Oh,
Prospect of the Year from the voters.
yeah.
Yeah, so he beat Keyshawn Davis, Gerard Anderson, and Caroline Dubois was in there as well. So yeah, they were the top four.
Yeah, Caroline stands out. Um, she's a spiteful little madam.
Yeah.
But when I spoke to her, she said when she's in the ring, that's who she really is. The ring is who she really is. The mask is worn every day in life. And I was like, when someone just eats, breathes, lives everything like boxing,
Yeah.
honestly, you have to speak to her. If you can get her on your pod, um, she's a very interesting character in the sport. And she's even started to call out big names. She's going to drop weight. She wants to go down to lightweight.
Okay.
2023, she's coming for people, she's coming for belts, she doesn't care, she wants to fight the best. Her confidence isn't arrogance, it's just she wants to test herself and she believes in herself, if that makes sense. So it's not like off-putting, she's not cocky, she's not arrogant, she's just good at what she does. And to me, that's the one that like shines out for me. But maybe that's because I'm a female, and I don't know. What do you think?
Well, in women's boxing, she definitely is the one who stands out as the top prospect out of the women prospects, to be fair. Shannon Ryan's decent. There's a few other ones, but Caroline, she's the one getting rid of people, and she's putting the hurting on people. So she's someone that women and men boxing fans would like to see, because she's putting power shots together. Yeah, we love, everyone likes skills. Well, the purists do, but if you're talking about the average viewer, we want to see someone get bruck up, and she's brucking up people the way she's vicious. So
Yeah, and that's what she said. She says, I don't want people to walk out the arena and not remember her fights. When it's the way that she like she's calculated everything that she said. She wants to put on a show. She wants to be remembered as the star. Her
yeah,
hunger for this sport is something else. You can, when I'm talking to her, Danny, she's like this. She's like, I just want to go in there. You can't see her hands because they're below the camera, but she's like, I want to go in there and I'm like, if you could see how she feels about this sport, it's something else. That's why she sticks out.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think on the Shields Marshall card, I think was she might have been the only stoppage of the night. I think there might have been one more, but that was like any. I think the person quit or something. But I think Caroline was the only one who got a legit proper stoppage on
Yeah,
that entire card. So loads of people gonna remember her on the undercard section.
yeah, yeah. She's something else, man. But a nice girl to go with it, and obviously comes from a boxing family. I think her younger brothers box as well. Obviously, we've got Daniel. But I said to her, I said, you're going to start getting that name Dynamite. She's like, no, no, no. She goes, that's for my brother. That's for my brother, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
It just dropped in there. Yeah, Lauren Price. She's another one that's got that spite in her as well. Yeah, well said, Bass. I don't often agree with everything he says, but I'll give him that one.
Yeah, but was that a proper stoppage? Because I was there, but I don't remember. Was that a proper stoppage, or did the person quit? Or was it one of? I swear it was a funny stoppage. Base, was it? It might have been a funny stoppage where I wasn't convinced by it.
Can you add Bass to this?
Yeah, I can. One second.
Otherwise, he's going to put his silly sentences in.
Yeah, he'll do like 2 words or something.
Online, like, what are you on about?
Oh, he's declined. This brother, he must be on a date or something. But
Doc sign.
Yeah, yeah. But who else? So who else was there? So what about the small hall promotions?
Dean White.
Yeah.
Hands down. I was there. I've seen it from the beginning. I was there at the first show, first 2 shows.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you something about Dean. I've known him for a couple of years, and his drive, his ambition, and he wants to help people. I've seen him at boxing shows, and before, you know, the Money Heist, before the first one, Boxing Heist came out, he was looking for like the journeyman to go into the fights. He didn't stop. I was at a boxing event with him, and I think I must have seen him for 2 minutes. He was running around trying to organize everything himself, trying to get everything patterned with like a week, 2 weeks to go. And even on the night of the first show, there were hiccups there. There were people that were trying to stop him from getting that first show out there. He has so many hurdles that he has jumped over, you know, and gone through, literally kicked down the door. He is a grafter, and I've seen it. So that's why I always say him. And then obviously, you know, unfortunate news about his son, and he still carried on with the last show. He hasn't been sleeping. He's tired. He's doing a million things at once still, and he's still put on his last show. To me, there's nobody else that can take that from him.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, well, go on. I took my dressing gown off for this.
Nah, man.
Right,
Gotta stay authentic.
So you did a quick October fight week dress up, yeah?
Something like that.
That's how I'm usually dressed.
Oh, okay. So yes, Base. So you see, with the Lauren Price stoppage, what happened? Because something funny. I remember.
No, the ref was on a joke thing. The girl was still fighting back. She took a couple of punches, but then the ref just decided that like she wasn't gonna win or something like that. So he just stepped in, and she looked at him like, "What? Why?" Everyone looked at him like, "Why? What's going on here?"
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that's what it was. I knew it was something because, you know, because I was working, I couldn't keep my eyes on the ring the whole time. So you got to look at the crowd and stuff. So, but I knew it was something funny with the stoppage because it was like, this don't make sense. So yeah, he just wanted to record a stoppage win on the Lauren Price's record, I guess.
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh, October's frozen.
Come in and come out.
Someone must have been calling her.
Yeah.
Someone's probably called her.
Yeah. So yeah, did you manage to catch the awards, or did you see the results of them on Twitter?
No, only the ones obviously I voted for. I haven't seen. Did you put out a video, or is it like just what you put on Twitter?
I just did. No, I did a video just before I started this one. I did it. I did it
okay.
here.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I did it on here.
I'll go back and watch it in a minute. Oh, you did it on IG?
Yeah, IG Live. Yeah, I just did a recording, just me, and then whoever's watching was watching. October saw some of it.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't. I'll be waiting for the YouTube video. You know, I don't really do the IG thing because I need my phone half the time, innit? So if you're doing the IG thing, then you're taking my phone.
No, I'll put it on IG after, but because what it was, it's because it was the votes from the fight fans, innit? So it's not even my opinion. It's it's all you guys voted for. So that's why I just done it on here, and then I'll put it on YouTube a bit later. But yeah,
October, I have two phones. I just don't always carry two phones. Not when I'm getting gym and stuff. It's one phone at a time.
yeah. So, for instance, the most masterful boxer award was given to Bivol's performance over Canelo.
So you mean performance of the year?
Masterful performance, like boxing clinic.
Base, give him. Let him go on. Who is it?
No, I'm just just a very like weird category. So, but I'm assuming you just got your.
No, but when you were saying like mastery, it's more for like someone just putting on a boxing exhibition, like proper boxing, showing proper boxing skills.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why it's called masterful boxing performance. So it was like a masterclass. So, for instance, in fourth place, well, joint third place, which I'm surprised because I thought one was a lot better than the other. Tyson Fury versus Chisora and Josh Kelly versus Troy Williamson both got 7%, so they were joint third. But I thought Josh Kelly's was way better than Tyson Fury's, to be fair. But this is what the fight fans voted for. Second place was Clarissa Shields versus Savannah Marshall with 11%, and with 74.6%, it was Bivol versus Canelo's performance. And that
so Canelo and not Ramirez, because the Ramirez performance was better than the Canelo one.
Yeah, but maybe because
I think it's a shock. People that
the competition. Yeah.
Do that to Canelo when the ones of us that have been watching Bivol from a long time understand how skilled he is as a boxer.
Mm-hmm. And this was 126 votes, so there's a lot of voters. So, but Bivol got a lot of them.
When the females base though, who's your favorite? Because I know you're very good at the female side of boxing. Who would you say to you is like the best newcomer?
Oh, it's Caroline, without a shadow of a doubt. Caroline Dubois takes that all day long.
Yeah, she won that. She won that category.
I think she's won it on everyone's list quite handily. I mean, like there's the activity, there's the stoppages, there's just the actual ring craft, the way she cuts off the ring, the punch selection. Like you can't really give it to anyone else apart from, for me, Beatrice Ferreira, but she's only had 2 fights this year. So
Beatrice, that is a proper old school Jamaican woman's name. Where's she from?
Or Beatrice, is Brazilian, isn't it?
Oh, okay. Yeah, still plantation, I guess. But
yeah, you got you got too many casuals on the live for them kind of chat there.
Oh man. So best entrance of the year.
I thought it was the best entrance for me was Alicia Baumgardner, but I really like that song that she come out to. I like that Glorilla woman. So, but that's just, I like that song, but I don't know.
That was the first time I actually heard the song, and then that's when I went on Spotify to listen to the full version.
I play that in the gym all the time. Just, yeah.
So with that one, the Clarissa Shields come 4th place. And I gave an honourable mention to Savannah Marshall because her entrance was good as well that night. And then joint second was Alicia Baumgardner's versus Mayer and Craig Richards versus Buatsi. They both got 25%.
Oh, yeah, that was next.
So who got first?
Tyson Fury being carried on the throne.
It wasn't Tyson Fury's mix of music, how he chopped up all the different genres was brilliant. That was the Dillian White one, yeah?
Yeah.
That was A1 because he chopped up all the different types of genres of music, which, kind of like expresses unity or whatever. I enjoyed that. But like, I'm kind of biased. But yeah, the Craig Richards one, yeah. Yo, I was nearly doing handstands on me. Anyway, never mind.
Yeah, that was my favourite one. But yeah, come on. But Fury, yeah. And I was also saying that with Fury's entrance, it just shows that entrance is a timeless entrance because it was first used by Prince Nassim Hamid when he fought Daniel Alicea back in 1996.
Okay.
Master Aficionado. I remember that. The reason why I know is because Prince Nassim was my favorite boxer when I was a kid, so I know all them sort of things. And then the second time it got used was Floyd Mayweather when he fought Arturo Gatti with the carryout thing on the throne as well. And then he did a similar one where he was dressed in that kind of Roman emperor stuff, but he was standing up, so he wasn't sitting on the. That was against Carlos Baldemir when he had the pink gloves on. So yeah, but yeah, just because the carrying on the throne seems to always be a winning entrance with the fans. So that was good. I remember Base was asking, yeah, it's good you're on actually, because it was the number 6 that said the best broadcaster with the worst broadcaster. I remember he was asking why
because you had different names for each one. I was like, well, that's not necessarily a fair comparison.
Yeah. So the reason why is because what I did, I remember I put some of it on. I started it on IG, and then I put, what was it? So for the best one, there's Sky Sports, DAZN, Showtime, and ESPN. So with Showtime and ESPN coming at the lowest, I know that with DAZN and Sky Sports coming at the top, what I should have done is actually so you're right there, I should have put Showtime and ESPN in the worst category since they was the bottom 2 and put them against BT Sport and Channel 5. But for some reason I put Sky Sports and DAZN when they'd already won. So there was no chance of them being the worst if they've already been the best. So that's where I messed up. So yeah, you had a point there.
Okay.
So I should have put the bottom 2, the losers, in the best, in with the worst, with BT Sport and Channel 5. Because I knew BT.
But then why didn't you put? I mean, obviously, I know you can only do 4 anyway. But why didn't you put like Channel 5 and BT Sport and them lot in that category to see? Maybe you should have done like a US one and a UK one or something. I know it's difficult because you can only do 4, but it's just the way you've done it. Obviously, you haven't given everyone an equal shot to be the number 1.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, next year I will amend that.
Yeah, then that's why I don't think I voted on that one because, like I said, I don't get to the American.
Yeah, that's true. Everyone didn't get a fair shake on that one. So yeah, next year I'll probably do it. Yeah, British and US, and then probably put the bottom 2 Brits, bottom 2 US against each other for who is the worst overall, and then do the top 2. Huh?
Who's been your favorite guest on your podcast?
My favorite guest so far.
That stood out. All right, I won't say favorite. Say the one that stood out because you say favorite and people get in their feelings.
No, I'll say my favorite interview. So my favorite interview. Was Tyler Denny. Yeah, he was my favorite. He's someone I've definitely got to get him back on because I can see there's more to him I can get out and find out about him. He's a man because he just wears his heart on his sleeve and he just keeps it so real. He ain't trying to cut corners and next question and I can't speak on that. He just rags. So I just like the way and I just like his personality. This is why I even asked you, can you hook it up and get him on for me? Because I just liked his interviews I saw when he was on Channel 5 when he fought the Wilson Bent the first time. I thought, right, I like this guy's attitude, you know. And then then he got stitched up there, and then thankfully he got the rematch. But yeah, I was like, yeah, can you hook that up? And then when he said he was in London for who was he watching? His friend got beat anyway on a Frank Warren show, and then he came on. So yeah, I was really happy about that one. So yeah.
Well, Denny, who would you want to have as a guest on yours, Base? Who would you like to have a guest on your channel?
You know what? I don't really want to do the guest thing too tough because I feel like that breeds a little bit of partiality, especially when you're trying to be impartial in a lot of stuff. You might not give someone the same energy, you know, if you like them or if you connect with them. But to be honest, I'll speak to any and everybody. Like you know, because obviously Danny's known me for years. Like my opinion ain't gonna change whether I know you or not. But I don't want people to assume that it changes just because I know you.
Anyway, they're going to assume anyway.
No, but with Base don't, because
Base, but the thing is, Base knows boxing. So when I'm thinking about him, I'm saying, whose brains would you like to like pick at to speak to them about boxing? Nothing about impartiality, nothing about this. It's like a boxer that you think, you know what, I'd really like to sit down and have a conversation with them, because that's how I started. I used to sit there and watch that and think, you know what, I want to talk to that person. So don't you ever think, you know what, I'd like to sit down and speak to that person, have them as a guest?
Not particularly. The most, you know what, the only two people that I would want to do that with, and it's not even really on a telephone thing or a camera thing, would be man them that's from the ends. So people like Craig and people like Dan. I've spoken to them already, but to actually have a proper in-depth conversation, but I wouldn't record it because that's for me to know, kind of thing.
Right.
I'd rather talk to people in our position that sort of we have a certain level of knowledge. We may not know everything, but then we come at everything from an unbiased point of view, or a point of view where at least we come at it from a perspective of not knowing any better. So yeah.
So who was your favorite? What was your favorite interview moment, October?
The one that I've connected with the best out of all of them, and I know that I've done that because my family have watched me speak to that person and said, damn, the conversation that you have with that person are just, it's like two brethren sitting down having a convo. It's Dan Aziz.
Yeah.
My own family said that conversation there that you have, those is good, proper, good online chemistry. So it's Dan Aziz, and that's because my own people have told me that. And I don't know, to me, I just think he's going to be something special. And I can just see, like, in years to come, as a British fighter, he's definitely, I'm not saying that there ain't going to be any others. This is what I'm saying. It's my opinion. He's going to be one of them that will be remembered. I don't know. I could be tripping, but he's got that energy about him. There's something about him. He literally started off failing. And everyone said to him, you can't do this. You're rubbish. And he went, I'll show you. And then he's just gone through his career and he's just proved himself and kept on proving himself and always willing to learn and make those sacrifices, leaving his own backyard and going abroad. And to me, any fighter that does that, I rate them. But he's got that character and personality. He's one of these that, you know, it's like you could go out with him and it's just pure jokes running all night. So yeah, these.
Well, the funny thing is that Dan Aziz is one of me and Base's youngest because he went to our school.
Really? Was he like that? Well,
I didn't really know him. I knew his face and stuff, but he was like about 3 years below us. So
you're not gonna,
yeah, you know, them times there, everyone's, you know, when we're year 10, year 11, we think we own the world, innit? So we're not really trying to talk to the little kids. We might punch them up when we're leaving, give them the year 11 versus year 8 Russian or something. But that's about it. But
the baptism.
Yeah, a little baptism. But we got baptized as well by the oldest, so it was a running thing. But yeah, no, I remember Danny was a cool guy. He was a nice kid. He wasn't into boxing back then, no. But yeah, he was a nice guy. Yeah. But yeah, what it is with him, the way he's doing it so traditionally, I can see him doing something. I can see him achieving a lot more than people think he is. Because what it is, he's gradually building himself into a nightmare.
Correct.
He's building himself into a nightmare type of opponent where he's perfecting that style more and more. And what it is, I've noticed the type of opponents he's dealing with. So if you're tall, so these, because what is it? You can start off with, what's his name? The first one, Hosea Burton, 6'4".
Yeah.
Smashed him up. The Cartwright guy, 6'3". Shakan Pitters, 6'6". What's his name? Rocky Fielding, 6'3". So with them
They're
tall
tailor
opponents.
made for.
Yeah, tailor made. Whereas, for instance, but then what it is, it's like what Tony Bandra was even saying on my pod, that when he was a cruiserweight as an amateur, he was stopping guys because he was finding it easy to roll under them. And then when he starts fighting people now, he's lost weight or more his height, he struggles. Whereas Dan Aziz, for instance, when you saw when he fought Ricky Summers, who's more of his height,
Yeah.
that's when he had problems. So
Yeah.
this is so
But
yeah.
the development then though, because don't you think, and jumping, don't you think that he's improved? Don't you think he's a fighter that's improving? He's developing his own style and improving. I don't know. What do you think?
No, he is improving, but I feel like he's all. It almost seems like he's chasing a feeling that he can't get again, or that he hasn't got again, because he hasn't looked as dominant or as impressive as the Jose Burton fight and all the others. It's more like just a workman-like performance. He's getting the job done. He's doing everything he needs to do to get the wins, but that's still his best performance in like the last 4 or 5 years. I don't think he's had a better one than that. And it's almost like, whether he feels he needs to, that might be a different story. Maybe the opposition's better, or maybe he's been given more opportunities in that particular fight to look a lot better than he has. But like that performance, he hasn't topped it yet, and maybe he never will. But that's the only. It's not a criticism. That's the only thing I would say. He hasn't. I don't think he's at the same level, or he's reached the same level.
But would you say that's probably down to, obviously, you know, like they say, like styles make fights, like on the opponent? Because I saw improvements like with defense and his guard and certain things that he's doing better, and maybe even trying to, like, I can't even say box more, but he planting his feet, because he's somebody that's he's in and out, he's bouncy. I think that's why he's got the name Super whatever, because he's all over the place. But he's really starting to sit down and calculate on his shots. I mean, the uppercuts that he threw when he fought Rocky Fielding the other day, like I said, like, I lost count, because all I'm seeing is my man's head just like constantly going back. And you can see when you slow down what he's done. He's looking almost like, he's been in camp with Artur Beterbiev, however you pronounce his surname. Apologies for the experts. But Artur Beterbiev also looks for the shots that he's going to do. You can see him, he's calculating where he's going to hit. Yeah, Bivol's kind of like the straight 1-2, 1-2, and it's devastating, but he's still in them straight lines, where Artur Beterbiev is more better at finding the angles, and he'll look to see where can I hit you next. And I feel like Dan Aziz is developing kind of like on that style, and that's what I saw when he fought Rocky Fielding. He was really like, there was a bit of maths going into it, but I mean, what the fuck do I know?
No, what it is, you're very right, because it's kind of like what Base alluded to that. What it is, because Base said that he thinks Dan got that shot where he jabs, steps across, hooks to the face from double jab. But also, where he actually started perfecting it properly is going into the camps with Artur Beterbiev. Because if you look at the way Beterbiev knocks a lot of people out, when he puts him on the ropes, you watch his highlight reels, he does this, steps across, and goes bam in their face, and their head just snaps back, and then he just go on the floor. So that's a shot which he would have been learning. I imagine doing camps with Beterbiev, learning a good jab from someone sparring Kovalev, who's, you know, so that's what I respect as well, that he's going out to America and he's sparring guys. When I'm looking at the picture, I'm like, right, I wonder if he got absolutely just smashed to pieces. But I'm looking at his face, I'm like, you don't look too bad, you know. Like, he must have done all right, you know. And this is why when people hit him, he's not even moving from like these guys.
I'm saying, he's just all right then. He's like a poker. He's got a poker face in there.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that he's performing badly. I just don't think he hasn't reached the same level of performance. And again, that might just be because other people are now guarding up against certain shots they saw him throw. They don't want to get hit with the same thing, so he has to work around it. But he just, like I said, it just looks more workmanlike. And okay, I'm just sort of gonna do my job. But he just hasn't had that standout since that fight, and I just want to see when that comes again, because I feel like once he has that next standout, he's ready. Like that's fully affirmation of he is ready for all comers. Like every tool is there. Whatever happens next is meant to happen. That's just how I kind of look at it.
But
I believe it is there.
that are on the map, as they're world contenders. We've got a beautiful crop of British light heavyweights that are world level, and I think when he starts to fight some of them, I think that's when we're going to see problems.
Yeah, I think he is there because I remember the first standout performance from him, which made me take notice of him, was the Charlie Duffield fight. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Not, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the one what made me take notice. And then he beat Lawrence Sosekia, who was a standout amateur, because I remember him knocking out my friend Reese out cold in York Hall. And it was bad because his mum was there crying. Me and Tunde was there, and then because Tunde used to train him as well. And Tunde just bopped off. I was like, oh, it was bad. It was bad. It was ice. And I was like, right. So when Dan beat him, I was like, oh, right. And then another standout one was Jose Burton, as you said. And since then, it has been more workmanlike. But I think when you're with Rocky Fielding, I think Dan knew he could work him over, especially when he came in overweight. He didn't even look bothered. Dan thought, yeah, I'm just going to, do some stuff and I'm just going to break him down. And eventually he's going to fold on me. And he did, really. He looked like he didn't want to be in there from about 3 rounds before it got stopped. So, yeah. And the Shakan one, that's always going to be difficult when you're fighting a man who's as tall as an ostrich. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like a zebra. Yeah, so that's never going to be a standout one when you're when the height deficiency. So, yeah. But I thought it was it was still a good performance. But yeah, I say Charlie Duffield and the Burton ones were probably his best performances I've seen.
What do you think about all the rumblings that are going on with obviously Tyson Fury going to be going obviously for Alexander Usyk? Fight's supposed to be in heavy talks now. Etc. etc. What are your thoughts on that? Because there's all sorts of stuff flying around the YouTube about is it going to happen, blah blah blah. I don't know what your thoughts on that. Any of yours? Because yeah.
Thoughts, base?
I won't have a thought on it until it gets signed. I don't talk about Fury until anything is signed. If it was just on the Alexander Usyk side, then I'd have all sorts of thoughts because I trust him. I don't trust Fury. So until that side gets everything sorted and I've got a date and then I can start to look at that. But outside of that, it's going to be, I feel like it's a fight. If it was to happen, people are sleeping on Usyk. Yes, Fury's got all the size and if he uses it the right way, then he should win because that's what he's a master at. But everything outside of size, he has no advantages.
I agree. Because skill-wise, Usyk's better. Fury is not used to having to go and possibly look for opponents. He's used to them sort of coming to him where he can either dance around, and then those type of guys who are very front foot heavy, he's figured out, okay, if I use my size and push them back, these guys can't fight off the back foot, so I'm just going to beat them up. Whereas Usyk, he don't mind coming to you or you coming to him. So it's going to be a tough night for Fury trying to pin him down. I don't think Usyk's going to allow him to grapple him up so much. Yes, Fury will grab him at some points and lean on him and stuff, but I think Usyk's elusiveness will cause a lot of problems. But from what I've seen, Fury, he's calling out David Price and David Haye out of retirement for stadium fights. I'm just like, come on, man.
What?
Yeah, he's calling them, man, out for stadium fights.
Okay.
He's saying, he's going back to, I remember I called him the plumber. I told him I'm going to give it to him. I'm like, mate, that's long gone. And then the Haye thing, come on. We know Haye's a broken man. It's just pointless, really.
Yeah,
he even said that the only belt he hasn't won is
Central Area.
So he wants to fight Chris Heaney. I was like, come on.
Oh, wow. I've missed all of this then.
Yeah, he's saying some mad stuff.
That one with Coogan?
No, he's been saying that for years.
Oh.
That the Central Area is the only one. But he said it recently. I don't know if it was on the the fight within, because that's definitely an episode I won't be watching. I don't care.
Oh.
I watch a lot of stuff, but you know when I try not to feed into BS, because then it would just put me in a mood and I don't want to talk about it. So if I already know that that's not going to be something I need to watch, then I won't bother unless someone says no, watch it because at this point he says such and such, and then I'll say okay, cool, I'll check that if someone else recommends it. But instantly I know that a Tyson Fury interview is not something I want to watch. A Frank Warren one I don't mind, because Frank will give you some gems. Like, yeah, and a couple shoulder rolls, dislocations, but yeah, Fury, nah.
I don't know. I think Fury's got a lot of gems, but I think his brain's all over the place. So he just has a lot of like wild takes, like you said. When it comes to like fights being announced and stuff like that, yeah, pinch of salt, whatever. We'll believe it when we see it, but there's some stuff that he said that is either relatable or it just makes sense. You know, in between everything else, I'll say that I think he does chat some sense.
No, do you know what? Sorry, I like to watch Fury when it's nothing to do with boxing. Like if unless it's okay, like there's one question about boxing, but when he's just like talking about stuff in general, he has not. I can tell that there's knowledge there. But anything to do with boxing, he almost triggers me, and I'm not a person easily triggered, so I try to stay away from triggers. Yeah,
no, and that I can relate to, and that's why I think the podcast that he's done with Kugan Cassius will probably be interesting because it steps outside of boxing. Like I said, he's got a bit of life experience, and the clip that I have watched, and I think a lot of boxers and a lot of champions probably relate to this, or people that have been successful in their life aspirations, is when you start, you have that hunger because you've got no money, you've got nothing, you know, you've got that drive to win. But then when you get all of that, well, what am I doing it for? And that was just a little clip, and I've heard so many people say that. And it can knock your drive down, and hence drops in performances, people falling off the wagon, or all sorts of crazy stuff. And you think, how much do you want to win? Because that's one of the questions I said to Joshua when I spoke to him, is how much do you want to win? How much do you want to get these belts back? And I'll let you go and look at the answer. But the answer wasn't what I expected.
Yeah, with Joshua.
Fortunately, when you come from nothing and you start to get that dough, it can make you complacent, man. And there's no complacency in being a champion.
Yeah, it's hard. Marvin Hagler said the famous words. It's hard to get out in the morning, go on them runs when you've got silk pajamas on, you know. You're living in a 10-bedroom mansion. You know, got all these sponsors. Every girl wants you. You got all the garms. You got all the money. You're living life. You're not worrying about your electric key and your gas card.
They're long gone. You know, imagine waking up and not even having to think about bills. What are bills? They just pay themselves. Imagine that. Imagine that life where you go shopping and you can go shopping 15 times a day and it's not even an issue. Yeah, eventually it will run out. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, and you go into Waitrose. Yeah, you go into Waitrose and Selfridges and start supermarket sweeping. Just, you're not even thinking. The man don't even know about it.
Ocado. What you know about Ocado?
Sorry, I'm not even.
Waitrose. Straight to Ocado. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't know about no frills and best in. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? He ain't eating rice and pilchards no more.
Where's the corned beef? Do you remember corned beef and rice?
Yeah. But I liked that. I hated pilchards. Pilchards. When my mum bought that was the meal I despised. That's when I knew this is it. We're at the breadline. Yeah. My brother hated corned beef and rice, but I liked it. That's actually my favorite meal. If I'm keeping
mine too, but corned beef too damn expensive these days, man.
Yeah, now.
Yeah,
the can's expensive now, man. But yeah, that's my favorite meal. But I hated pilchards and rice.
Yeah, Tony put in the chat, Ituma looks a good signing for Frank Warren. Yeah, following his brother's footsteps. I've heard that he's all right as well, to be fair.
Yes, I think I was watching him in some amateur tournament on Uncle T's story because he was putting a lot of the highlights in his story, following a lot of the journeys of some of the new guys. So yeah, I did see that brother, and he was stopping the guys in them. It was in a different country, but yeah, yeah, he looks good from what I saw.
Who's your favourite up-and-coming heavyweight at the moment, then? Because we covered light heavyweight. What are you saying about the heavyweights?
Oh, well, I've got two. I've got
Go on, then.
For like my cup of tea, is Gerard Anderson, and then one who I just see being a mad disruptor is the one who smashed up Kamil Sokolowski.
Jalilov.
Yeah.
Is it Jalilov, the Olympic gold winner?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bektemir Jalilov.
Yeah.
That's terrible with pronouncing names. Come on then, Base. What's your take on him?
No, Jalilov is a problem. He's a future world champion in the making. He just needs to stay active. But my guilty pleasure in the heavyweight division is Richard Torres. Richard Torres Jr. I like Richard Torres.
Do you know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of Tommy Gunn.
Yeah.
He's proper like Tommy Morrison, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
No, but I like his style. Obviously, he's one of those guys, unless you're an elite level, he's gonna cause you problems just because he's a bit like, Tyson and them, man, whereby all they ever do is fight people bigger than them, taller than them, so they just know the game. So unless you've got that mad distance control, he's there. And if he lands, you're in problems. The only person that's ever actually dropped him and stopped him is Jalilov. So,
Pugilist. Why are you calling him a porn star with a dash? Are you thinking of Ron Jeremy or something?
I want to know how he's going to know.
Because he's got the hair now, innit? Because he's got the hair and the tash. He looks a little like 70s star-ish.
Yeah, Ron Jeremy, innit?
What, Tony, why are you...
But he does that. He just does that for jokes. It's bants. It's not like, he's just a funny, like, jovial type character outside of the ring.
Fair enough. What about the British one? Somebody's mentioned Saj, mentioned Fabio Wardley. He's kind of like a bit up the tree from them guys. You got Fabio Wardley, you've got David Adelaide, you've got like there's like orders in it. There's like 5-6 years in between them, kind of, when it comes to like who's turned pro first. So I wouldn't even put Fabio Wardley in there.
Yeah, to be honest, on the British side, I don't really have much hope for anyone apart from probably maybe there's no one really, not just yet anyway. Maybe a Tuma.
Yeah, I don't have anyone in the British heavyweight scene. Yeah, I don't see them being the next coming. So I've got Gerard Anderson and Jalilov.
Okay.
That's how we pronounce his name.
What about the cruiserweight division?
You go first, ladies first.
No, I ain't going.
Well, there's no prospects really at cruiserweight at the moment apart from Chev and Jordan. If you want to talk what an actual prospect
Come on then. So Chev's dangerous. He put that guy into a standing spasm. The last guy that I don't know what pressure point he got him on. I cannot remember that. I'm gonna lie and say it was a hook. I can't remember, but he put him in a standing up spasm.
It was an uppercut to the chin.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a good shot. I know who you're trying to reach for.
I'm not reaching for no one, fam. I'm staying out of this debate.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, let's talk about guys. Well, he's still a prospect-ish, but he's not a prospect like how we were talking about the other type of prospects, like the newbies. So with Richard Riakporhe, we heard that he might be fighting. Is it Makabu?
Glavatsky.
Oh, no,
Glavatsky.
Glowacki.
Makabu ducked him.
Yeah, Glowacki next. So that's a good chance for him to use Glowacki as a yardstick to how Lawrence Okoli dealt with him, I guess. So we'll see how he gets on because they got similar dimensions. Richard and Lawrence, both 6'5", long reach. Richard's more muscular though, whereas Okoli is more just like dense, big, and uses his proper that kind of awkward long limbs more. One punch power, they're probably about the same so far. It looks like so. Yeah, be interesting to see how he. I expect Richard to knock Glowacki out.
Yeah. What about Jordan? Because I think hopefully Jordan's. When did he last fight? Was it September?
Think it was around then.
Yeah, it was in. I think it was Leeds or somewhere, or Sheffield. I can't remember. And he got knocked down. And it was nearly curtains. But hopefully he's going to be coming back in the new year because I like watching him because he's quite powerful as well. So I agree with that. Chevron, Clark, and like Jordan. When you talk about like the newbies that are coming in, definitely.
Yeah, and the newbies at light heavy because we didn't even get onto the newbies like that really. I like that Frank Warren guy, the one who's always in Cuba.
Who?
Was it a Frank Warren show?
I know who you're talking about, but I can't remember his name.
He's got
the one that was on, the guy from he's from Midlands.
Right, and I don't know who it is.
You do
because
I spoke about it on Twitter, and you was like,
Ezra Taylor.
Ezra Taylor, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, him. I like the way he looked. I like he's caught my eye. He reminds me of a bit of Anthony Small and there was someone else, I forgot who it was, but he's like a combination of two fighters and a bit Shakan Pittersy as well with his style.
Ben's going to come back out as well. Tony's put in there about Ben. He's had 2, Bennett. He's going to come in for fight number 3. I think he went into his last fight injured. Don't know for sure, but
he had some kind of surgery done on his shoulder. But apparently he's been carrying that since the Olympics.
See, I thought he had an operation before he turned pro.
No,
I thought he did.
Well, if he did, he had to do it again. It's the same issue.
Yeah, which a lot of fighters, shoulder injury, rotator cuff, common injury, isn't it?
But another one of Frank Warren's fighters who's one of my favourites currently is that Nick Ball guy.
What weight's he?
He's feather, I think.
Yeah, featherweight. Yeah.
The one that fought Isaac Lowe, but apparently he's not going to be a Frank fighter much longer. That's the rumor. Apparently he got the matchroom bag.
No surprise, because that guy he's gonna be a world champion. That guy.
That's an even better subject, because Matchroom now is starting to snap up the British fighters. Well, that's what they're looking like. It looks like they're now refocusing on British fighters as well. What do you think about that? Because some of them were kind of like left out in the cold a little bit when, obviously, the to conquer the world. I get it, but then you've got like British fighters like, yo, what's going on?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like with regards to that, it makes sense that a lot of the fringe guys left to go and seek more money, because ultimately they're going to get paid more on a platform that's just sort of coming up. So that kind of makes sense. But outside of Lawrence Okoli, there's no one and maybe Savannah Marshall, just from an optics point of view, there's no one they particularly lost that was top of their tree, was the top of their list to, so in that sense, you could say, all right, cool. The only one that would have been an issue would have been Dalton Smith. So securing that back is one thing. Obviously, they should have got some more of the Olympians than just Galal. So like they definitely should have tried more for Caroline. I think that would have they missed a trick with that because she's going to dominate for years to come.
Yeah.
Just the age alone, you just get her, sign her now and do whatever. But
big fact.
They've obviously got their plans. They've got their plans. So, but yeah, they do obviously need to bring in a couple just for the fact of they need some slightly stronger undercards for when they're doing the UK shows. Don't get me wrong, they're still like the best overall in terms of the overall show, but they do need a little more because they get judged differently to everyone else. So you can't just have an okay undercard if you're Matchroom. Like it has to be top, otherwise you get slated, which is unfair. But that's the standard you set for yourself.
Mm. Well, they missed the trick with
the game. You get some time.
Sorry, say that again.
No, I'm saying you've been in the game for 25 years plus. You're going to get it in the neck if we feel that you're not performing, because you're you know, aside next to Frank, next to Queensbury, you know, the longest reigning British promoters. So they are going to be under that microscope. But I think even with all of the promoters, I think all of the promoters get it. I think it's just to your taste, whether you like it or not.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but the thing is, when you say every promoter gets it, but no one gets it like Eddie Hearn, like, and I think that's that's because his mouth gets him in a lot of trouble, which is cool.
He's
but Frank Warren, huh?
He's the most popular though.
But yeah, but I'm saying, but that's why he gets it worse, because Frank Warren regularly puts on awful shows and no one says anything. They actually only say something when he's had a really good one these days. And then like Ben and Boxer, their shows aren't necessarily great, but they always seem to have like a great main event, or they've got like a main event that captured the public's attention. That's one thing they've been able to do, that sort of, I guess, Matchroom and the others can't. Their narrative building on Sky is top notch. Like is arguably the best in the game. So they'll make you believe that something is going to be this amazing fight, and even if it ends up being a dud, you're like, "Whoa!" But what a spectacle it was! And that's all. And that's the narrative they push. Whereas Frank, he puts on one great event a year. Oh, Frank might be back here, but then Eddie's like, "Yeah, Eddie, you know that one was okay, but it wasn't as good as last week's one, so you're still a cunt." You know what I mean? That's literally how they look at it.
Yeah.
But he has caused that himself, so I'm not even, you know, he's made a rod for his own back because he talks a lot. But ultimately, when it comes to pound for pound and like the consistency of show, no one can't really chat to him yet. Ben might have more opportunities next year because he's in his second year, he's getting his flow. And like I said, from they know how to push that narrative, all they got to do is just thicken up their undercards a little bit. Now their people aren't going to be as prospecty, so they should be fighting slightly better opposition. So things could look a lot better for them.
I find and to be fair, that you can't really argue with that. Sometimes I think they've got Sky behind them now, haven't they, Boxer? Sky is the machine, isn't it? It's practically in every house. They host different types of sporting events. So as soon as you think of boxing, you think of Sky Boxing. So they've got that behind them. So to me, and I do think they will, they're going to start to really push heavy this year. And, you know, even speaking with Eddie's looked back and thought, you know what, I probably could have done things a little bit better. I know what I'm going to do this year. And to me, I personally think he's going to really try. He's going for that UK market. He's going to literally you're going to see signings left, right and centre, and that's just my personal opinion. And I think it literally will be who can get those signings between Boxer and Matchroom, the UK ones.
Yeah, he doesn't want to lose ground to the other guys, especially after he's so far out in front. It's like, no, yeah. I need to be Usain Bolt. I need to be looking back and seeing you guys there, not right on my heels making me have to work. So he definitely has to refocus that. So he's gonna make more of an effort. But again, the people that he's lost, realistically, most of them were coming towards the end of their career anyway. So it's not like they were huge major investments. It's maybe one or two fight nights he might have missed out on, but he clearly didn't mind.
Yeah, like Natasha. I guess he didn't mind missing that, but he should have took it, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, well, that was more her choice. He didn't like necessarily want. I don't actually think he ever wanted her to leave. That was her choice. She didn't want to be like an opponent, which is fair enough. But imagine she didn't want to be an opponent, but in order to become a star, had to move up 3 weight classes from where you was last competing. Like, can you imagine just the optics of that? It's like you can't even get a shot like in and around your natural weight. Like, you now have to fight girls that are obviously nowhere near as good as you, but just much bigger, just to be able to be the A side. It's a bit wild.
But don't you think that's the beauty of like female boxing, though, where you can say that women have a better advantage because they can like really mess around in the weight categories to literally go for gold, if you look at it that way.
So 147 down, yes. 147 down, yes. Anything above that, realistically, you've got 1 or 2 fighters. And then anyone coming up, for instance, no one is going to be able to jump from 140 to like 160 and then touch Savannah or Clarissa. Because they're the only 2 that's there. But everyone else is very beatable. So that's the problem. It's like whereas all the other divisions, you can go to any division and have problems with just the contenders. There, it's like after the champions, that's it. And that's the problem with the higher weights.
But I think as more women start to come into the sport as well, I think, you know, at the moment, it's kind of like rich pickings because there isn't really that many females about still. But they are, obviously, compared to men, there's a vast discrepancy with the numbers. But as the females start to get involved in the sport, which they are, it's, you know, more encouraged, it's more out there. I think we'll start to see the competition tighten up because going back to what you were saying about stepping up opponents, Caroline was getting a lot of rubbish, online, saying that, you know, oh, but she's fighting this, she's fighting bombs, she's fighting tomato cans. You do the matchmaking then. You go and find the fighters for her then. Because she's how many fights has she had? And they're already like, oh, what you should be like fighting like British, European, whatever level already. What is that impatience with people that are just like, okay, they're building her. She's gonna have these fights that are gonna help build a profile. What is wrong with that?
No, you know what? You're totally right. But the problem with, obviously, a lot of people know, first of all, there isn't the same amount of depth in women's boxing.
Yeah.
But also it's the quality of the opponent, not the quality of the opponent, it's the quality of the competitor. So if she didn't look as good as she did, no one's going to be clamoring for her to jump up the levels for these journey women. It's because she's like leagues and leagues above them that they have to be like, well, okay, we know that this is actually dangerous for you to be fighting these people. They're nowhere near your level. But then the problem is there's not that they've got the bottom run, and then you've got contenders, and then you've got the champions. So there's nothing in between the bottom and the contenders. So that's where the issue is with the women. Now, I agree with you. As it goes through the cycles, more people are going to jump in. But again, all of that is going to be like 147 and below, because you're still not going to get a lot of 12 stone women coming in 6 foot. There's not going to be that many of them.
Yeah, you're right.
So you're still always going to be 147 and below where you find depth. It's always going to be sparse at the top end.
Yeah, Danny, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and how old is she?
Who?
Is she
Caroline.
20?
20.
20?
Yeah, so,
I think she's 20 or 21, one or the other.
yeah, because
God almighty.
Daniel.
Problem.
Because what? Daniel's 23.
25.
25, yeah, so I know she's quite a bit younger. So yeah, people have to take that into consideration as well, that once you step up, you can't come down. So at her young age, it probably is best for her to go through these learning curves, even though it isn't going to be the best competition, because the journey women, she probably will get rid of most of them, but you've got to build the way you build. Deontay Wilder had a nice long building period. There's other fighters in America.
Don't compare Caroline to Deontay.
No, but
I know what you mean. No, but you know what would be better for Caroline?
What?
I think honestly, what would be better for her would be to fight up the weights. So fight at like 140 or like 147 because she's a lightweight, right? So she's at 135. Fight at 140, 147 because the journey women up there are going to be more durable. So you get to work on more stuff. Then you come back down when it's time for contender status. That to me would make more sense than fighting people and killing people in your own division now for her.
But she's talking about going down the weight, so maybe she thinks that she's beating up bigger people for now.
Well, no, she might. I mean, yeah, she might be able to make 130 or possibly 126. I doubt it. I mean, looking at her frame, I don't think she can get down to 126.
No,
she might be able to get to 130, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying she's definitely fighting in her weight class right now. So it would make sense to me. 140s, 147, and she can go in fighting at 142. They can be 147, but she can just get to work on stuff because she's big enough to compete with them. She's solid. She's strong enough, but it will give her more resistance. It will give her more things to work out. And if she's stopping them, then there's really no holding her back. If you want rounds, that's the best way to do it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I like the knockout, so you know.
Yeah, I agree. Any other prospects or weights we should? Trying to think.
We've touched on promoters. We've touched on newbies. We've touched on female.
Shout out Ade.
Yeah, shout out Ade. He's probably going to pop in and pop out, isn't he? You know,
Yeah, I think he's in Nigeria at the moment.
I think Adam Azeem speaks for himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we spoke about it.
I don't need any more praise than he's getting already. What do you think about? That's the one. While we're still there, Chris Billam-Smith.
I think, I liked his last performance.
Don't you think he
not really. I think that guy came out fast. Really. That's what it was. The guy kind of.
He was going to come out fast.
I've never seen that guy fight before, so I wouldn't know. But I thought the guy came out fast. And also, I think a lot of people, well, most people don't know that Chris Billam, he was coming off of an illness, the one which has been mashing up quite a few boxers. Yeah, he had it quite early on. So when you're still trying to recover, that's probably why his legs got dipped in the first round by that punch. But once he started to get himself together, and Shane's good at getting his fighters through crises, as we've seen with Daniel Dubois. So once he let off that barrage, then he looked really good, I thought.
Chris is fun to watch, but I don't think I can't see him being a world champ because like every fight he makes hard, or every fight is a a hard slugging fight of the year exchange. You trade, I trade type of, and you can't. And he's having that. He's been having that since like not even just domestic level, but English level, not British. It's like he's always had those kind of fights where it's nothing but physicality that gets him through, or like maybe just leaning and mauling on people. There's no fight I've really watched him where I'm like, yeah, you've properly showed me some good boxing experience. And as an amateur, from the little bit that I saw as an amateur, he was all right. But it just seems like everything's a war. So if everything's a war, I just don't know how you deal with these guys that are more well equipped for the war than you are at the proper world level, not our domestic world level that he's currently sitting at, or the EBU-ish type. In my opinion, I just don't see anything special. He's like I said, he'll give you a great fight. You're gonna have to work hard, but the upper level guys, I just see all of them beating him.
Yeah, because Thomas McCarthy twice. Isaac Chamberlain. I think that's just his style, really, because you look at the Thomas McCarthy fights 2 times, Isaac Chamberlain, this last one with this, how do you pronounce the guy's name?
Arman Gerjad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. It's always a rock'em sock'em. So how long is that? You know, I mean, that takes off, that takes away like a lot of punch resistance, the type of shots he takes. So it's how long can
Because
he?
then he also fight. He fought Jack Massey as well, didn't he? Because I know obviously Richard did, but he fought Jack as well, and that was another just a tough fight to watch. So
It's-
Yeah, there's another one. So the punch resistance is going to start to go after a while if you keep fighting like that.
you've gone on to what do you think about him fighting uh Joseph Parker? God, what is wrong with me and the names?
oh, Jack Massey.
Oh, he's
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't. That seems like a almost a gift. All right, you got beat up by Joe Joyce. Here, have this. That's what it looks like to me. I can't see anything other than a Parker hard KO within 5 rounds.
yeah, that's a thank you present.
but do you think that's a good fight for Parker to come back off? Because
No,
no, who would you thought he should go in with then as a return fight after like fully getting punished by the Juggernaut?
An actual heavyweight. That's who I think. An actual heavyweight, not someone that's like moving up.
Blown up.
Um,
Jerry.
there's a few. No, I wouldn't say Forrest only because he's southpaw. Like, and obviously the turnaround time wouldn't have been enough because Forrest just fought like last month. So, but someone like who would have maybe been a good fight. Maybe try and get that like Guido Vianello in the ring, someone like that, or even who he's going to be fighting like Johnny Rice, like one of these guys, durable, beatable, but is going to test you, is going to give you what you need. Like the knockover job thing is to me, and I'm not even trying to discredit Jack Massey. He's game, but that's just like I said, it's a present. It's nothing more than all right, you just got Tom Pop here, take this, and then we'll try and find you something better in May or June or whatever.
Raw.
Yeah, yeah. Someone like Rice or Coffee. It's funny they've all got these food names, but yeah, them
Yeah,
kind
Mike Coffey, he'd be a good one.
yeah, he'd be a
You
good.
got to watch out for the punch, but outside of that, you can work on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, Jack Massey too small, and he's just not good enough. He's not even like a top cruiserweight.
Yeah. But what do you think about Smithy and Eubank then? Because I want to speak to you guys about your thoughts on the Conor Benn thing. But can we speak about the Eubank Smith first?
Yeah, go on, Base. You go first.
No, I mean it's actually a good fight for Eubank stylistically. If he is anywhere near the level he believes he is, then he makes it a fairly comfortable night. I don't see him stopping Liam unless he's got like a great, like if he has a great body attack, because Liam is normally quite durable to the head with a very tight guard and he's used to taking punches. And the fact he's not boiling down to 154, I feel like he's just gonna have a lot more energy and reserve. And whereas he's on the front foot a lot of the time, he's not really expending much energy because he's moving forward. So he's setting his pace. But that also leads into what Chris does very well. Like he's great with fighters that come onto him and that he doesn't have to find, but they're not normally volume punchers, which is what like Smith can be. But I got Eubank on points. I know a lot of people are predicting the KO, but I actually think Eubank on points. I feel like he builds up a fairly good lead. Maybe then just boxes and moves for sort of the last 4 or 5 rounds. Obviously, he's gonna have a couple of crises I should say, to get through. But I see a points victory.
Yeah, I think the same really. Going by his last few performances, where it is, we've all got those high hopes and dreams of, the old Eubank used to come in and going ballistic on people. So if that guy is there, which I don't think he is there at 160 anymore, then I would expect him to stop him because Smith looks smaller than him as well when they go face to face and stuff. But I think it's what Bay said. He'll get a handy lead, might even drop him during the bout, but ultimately it will probably go to points, because going by how he looked at that when he weighed in and he was 159 on the scales, I think he needs to go to 168. I don't think he has the glucose in his system to be able to let off those highlight reel combinations at 160 anymore. And this is why it looked like he was carrying Marcus Morrison. This is why he wasn't able to finish off. Well, I think if he wanted to finish off Liam Williams within the first 4 rounds, he could have. But once it got past about the 6th round, I think the tank didn't have it in him anymore to finish him. So where he goes, oh, I wanted to punish him. No, after 6 rounds, you couldn't. You thought you'd have been able to take him out late, like brutalize him and take him out in the 10th and like end his career. Because you know, when you take someone out late, that's like the career enders, rather than you blasting a man out in 1 or 2. It's just a comeback. So once it got past 6, he realized, because then he started getting caught. He's jumping back, getting caught. So he didn't have the engine. He didn't have the engine he thought he did later on.
Yeah, I think Eubank probably drop Smith, but I think Smith has a habit of getting stronger in the later rounds. So I think Smith will probably make it more difficult for Eubank in the later rounds, should it go that far. And as you've just touched on, like Eubank's tank, like you said, as it goes on, has he got that engine that he still had from before? That could be problematic. I think it's a good fight. But I can see what Base has said as well, that, you know, it will probably go to points. See, Ade says he thinks Smith gets it on points. Smith comes in late and he's not afraid to touch the floor and come back up. It's a good fight.
But a late rally is not going to be enough on the cards if you're getting beat early doors and you're getting dropped on a 10-8.
Unless it's a stoppage, I hear that. But remember, anyway, I'm not even going to get into who's the main home fighter because it's joint promotion.
Well, no, but Smith will be the home fighter because we don't forget, Eubank is a Wasserman fighter. He doesn't fight on Sky or Boxer. So he's
That's what October was alluding to. But yeah, that's what she was alluding to. But maybe, you know, his sister's connection might save him, could save him.
No, because his sister's with Frank Smith. So that's matchroom. So they're not giving him no favors at all.
No. Zero. So then, all right then. We go off that, whatever. It's a good fight. But then we come back to like Conor Benn. Like from obviously the scenario, what happened with like just everything like that, just cannonball of crap. Because obviously the failed tests that turned into 2 failed tests that turned into statements coming out to saying a whole lot of nothing and then to more stuff. And then obviously he went on Twitter and he was like, hurry up, you guys, I want my license back. And you know I like Conor Benn, but how can you be asking them, man, to do you a favour when it wasn't them that messed up? You understand? I don't know. What do you think about that? And that's just me being honest.
No, I think that the whole Twitter thing, I think that was a clever ploy to be like, look, you guys, we've already proved our innocence. It's already there. Can you just hurry up so that everyone else can finally see? I think that's what he was trying to do. Whether people believe him or not, I don't know. But I said from time ago, like from that loss, you know, I did it on Monday Night Smoke. I read out the statement. The statement, oh, my team's proved my innocence, but we didn't see anything. All we saw was words. You said the same thing a month ago, 2 months ago. Like, I don't want to hear from you or your team until the evidence is there and the interviews, everything. Even if people like, you know, Simon Jordan and, you know, Spencer Oliver want to be on about it, I don't want to hear from you until it's all well and done. And end of the day, like Chris, like Junior said, you've let it go on so long now anyway, whether you are innocent or not, you're still guilty. So just hurry up. Just tell people you're sorry. Tell people, look, I get my life back together. Take your booze for as long as they come. Come in, have a couple of good performances, show your tests after every fight, and then just get you, and we can do it in the future. I agree. Because right now, no one cares about whether you're innocent or not. It's 3 months later. We all think, like, everyone thinks you're guilty. That's all they care about. Even if you are innocent afterwards, you've been guilty for 3 months.
Yeah, and what I liked about Chris Eubank Jr., he was like, "There's no way you can fail the test twice unless you've got like 5 men pinning you down, injecting you into your buttocks." I was dying.
I said, and you have to have video evidence as well. He's like, I need to see the footage of you screaming, "No, please, no."
That guy has got bags. Oh, I was dying.
Sarcasm, but how quick as like Chris Eubank, like he said, now you're gonna have to be the enemy. Now you're gonna have to be the one that gets the slating. It was almost like he's still got. He's so like politely disrespectful in what he says, and he's still got, "I am your father, son. I've showed you the way. Now it's your turn." And he's just so disrespectful with it, but it's so eloquently put. It's so polite. There's no screaming and shouting. But like Conor Ben watching that must be thinking, "I just wanna come up."
Yeah, but do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? It's Junior. He's actually using a follow-on scripture. I don't know if you remember that famous speech by Chris Eubank Sr., where he was like about the fathers, and then he said, "Oh, in the end, if you're not gonna listen, you have to feel." What he was saying about when the son doesn't want to listen to the father, and then the son's gonna have to feel the pain and go through what the father went through. So this is what Junior is basically saying to Conor, because I am your father.
This is what I'm saying. Still pushing that. He's just the sarcasm on him. But when you meet him, he's lovely, absolutely lovely person. But you know when they say that sarcasm is like the lowest form of it, it isn't, because his intellect level with that sarcasm is some high grade intelligence, because he just sits there and he just picks you apart, and he's just so nonchalant about it as well. It is good for boxing, because if everything goes all right, and you know, Conor Ben, like you said, proves the contamination thing, because obviously this is what they're going down, and them two fight again, it's probably going to be an even better build up than the last one was, because of all of this that's happened.
Yeah, but even with the Liam Smith thing, you can see he's getting to Liam, because when he was obviously doing the whole KFC, I'm just a man in a KFC jacket. Then he said, "I won't really need to train for you. I'm not taking any days off Christmas." Then you see Liam was, "Oh, look at him! He's on Twitter and Instagram doing training in a Christmas hat at Christmas. I thought he didn't need to train for me." I'm like, well, why are you so bothered?
And that's the madness. Probably wasn't filmed on the day.
Probably not.
Do you know what I mean? But it's just, yeah, he's good at what he does. Chris Eubank Jr. is really good for boxing as far as characters go, because we need that in boxing, because it's entertaining. Whether you love him or hate him, you're gonna watch him because he's funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We need that. He's a British name that will be like out there, because you know, because character. Arthur Eubank Jr. Yeah.
Yeah, with Conor, yeah, I've seen his statement. It didn't say, as Bay said, it was nothing we haven't seen before. Then I seen his dad, "Oh yeah, I can finally go home and, you know, rest my head and da 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 da." I was like, "Yeah, but we still haven't proven nothing." He's kind of saying, "Oh, hurry up and do your thing, WBC and VADA or whatever." But you've sent in I don't even know how many pages it was, but it turned out it's like 3 pages longer than Eddie Hearn's Relentless book. So that's a big, massive number.
I think it's 290 pages.
Yeah, it's 3 pages longer than Eddie Hearn's book. So they're gonna have time to have to go through all that. So, and then I don't know if you said October that he said give my license back. What license is he gonna go apply for? Because
I ran with his career. Don't take my word for it. He's obviously ranting on about getting back out there and fighting.
Right, I thought that was Eddie Hearn at first, but it's Eddie Davis, lucky. But I see. But yeah, so it'd be interesting to see what license he's going to apply for, since he's given away his British license. So that's going to be interesting.
Why? So theoretically, it should take a lot longer than it has taken. So obviously, he's hired the lawyers or whatever, a team, to try and get it done expeditiously. But stuff like that can take a very, very long time. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. What did Eddie talk about him coming back in March? Did I hear March, or is that me tripping?
I heard that, but we'll see, because they've got to come out with a statement first before they can start releasing fight dates and fight news. And then you're going to have to get an opponent. You're going to pay the opponent a lot of money, because then he's going to think, hold on, he might still have some residual juice. I need payment.
Yeah.
So,
Do you know what was that beef with him and Javante online? Because all I saw was a comment saying, what is it, glass houses and stuff. Where's that come from? What?
Because Javante spoke about it previously. He was like, oh, because when he was basically going to Eddie Hearn, it's where he's like, oh yeah, and he's, you know, Conor Benny's got him over there juice, and he's not looking after fighters, blah blah blah. You know, he tried to offer me chump change to fight Ryan. So it's a follow on from Eddie Hearn, and he threw Conor Ben in there. So now Conor's obviously come back and is like, you know, you of all people can't be chatting about me. Is basically the inference.
yeah, but it seems now that the mistress has taken her statement back, so I'm sure Javante will somehow fire.
That's why I never wagon. That's why I never jumped on no wagon. See me, I sit down and I watch everything in America. It happens, like, as soon as it happens, splat, splat, everyone's like, yeah. And then what happens? When I must shut on them out until everything's out there. Why have they got a trial for? Why are they going to trial? Everyone ordered everything. And then you got my man showing toothbrushes with doo-doo on it and that. What?
Spit on his face. Spit on his face.
Like, yes. And then listen, messy.
Yeah, this is what
I mean. That whole situation is more than it seems. Like, she's retracted whatever, but there's just as easier idea that she was paid to retract that as the same way as she actually just made it all up. Like, you literally don't know. So I didn't feed much into it either.
Facts.
Yeah, but this is why, even when you're seeing the Errol Spencer's woman filming him going, oh yeah, you cheated on me, showing him all drunk, I'm like, this is what happens when these men get money. They want the bad bees, but then get upset when these bad bees do bad things to them. This is why you just got to get yourself a good woman. They're just going, what it is, they're trying to go for this lovely exotic look, and they think, oh yeah, I've got the arm piece, but they don't know that there's pros and cons that come with this. So
right,
more cons than pros.
Yeah,
debatable pros. But anyway, how as a fighter, yeah, you get it. As a fighter, you're gonna have, like, just like in the football, there's gonna be certain women that are after that kind of, they want that, they're almost like they're bred to go after that type of geezer. What are these fighters supposed to do? You know, I spoke to fighters and I said, yo, you probably need to find your wife now, you know, because when you hit them big bucks, you're gonna have all sorts coming after you. All sorts. So how hard is it for the fighters to, you know, sit down and be able to say who's a good woman and who's not a good woman? It's tough. It's tough for them, man. So to see something pretty and glitz, they're like, oh, all right then, because they're there to see. They're not like analysing personalities and that. They're busy like getting ready to fight him. So they're there paying up these women. Yeah, you shut up and get on with that so I can get on with my career. It's tough for fighters. I think it's really tough for fighters, or, you know, those in the sporting industries, to really be able to say, oh, I need to find this good, wholesome woman. The only one that's done it properly to me is J. Cole, who's a rapper that was with his girl from however long, and he's still with her now. And who's the other one?
Terence Crawford.
Terence Crawford.
Yeah, from school days.
You're gonna have these, you know, these females that are like there for that, but there for the dough.
You know, to be fair, Shakur Stevenson as well. He's been with his missus for quite a long time. So
yeah. But we're talking. Yeah.
See, look what Muller's just put in there. All of that too. Look what Muller's just put in the comments. It's wild out there. You're having to walk around getting people to sign
non-disclosures.
List or non-disclosures. You mean consent forms? It's
that as well. Yeah, it's deep, man. It's deep.
but it's deep. Like my battery's running out. Anyway, I'm gonna have to because I've been on 2 phones.
Okay.
I've used
Well,
two-
I need to have a nap anyway because I've got to work tonight for this New Year's nonsense with all these lunatics.
But you stay safe because you're right about lunatics. You need to make sure you're okay. Look after yourself out there because it's mad.
Yeah, I'm going to be wearing my vest tonight.
Bro, you got a helmet as well.
Nah, I got the vest.
Yeah, man.
But yes, thank you, October Red and Base the Kid, for coming on. Guys, please make sure you subscribe to October Red Boxing at October Red Boxing on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to Base the Kid at The Hardcore Casual or Base the Kid on YouTube as well. Make sure you also tune into his show, The Breakdown, on the Undefeated podcast on Tuesdays. I'm sure they will be back in the new year with a lot of good stuff. Be sure to look out for October Red's interviews because they're their most in-depth and diverse, very different style compared to your generic type interviews, which has been also noted by the likes of Eddie Hearn, Johnny Nelson, and other boxers who've, you know, praised her for her work and her execution of interviews. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for being on the Fight Fan TV Live. Be sure to like and subscribe, and remember, persistence beats resistance. Stay ready and follow the children of the game.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Take care.
Bless.
Peace.